Okay, hey guys. So thank you guys for joining. Today we are going to talk about portable parties and kind of basics on how you can do portable parties. If you are familiar at all, hey Charlotte. Um, okay, so portable parties are basically basket parties. There are some companies call them basket parties. We call them portable parties because we're really into alliteration, and anything that starts with P. So if you guys didn't figure that one out, but these are basket parties. These are great for office parties. These are really just good for what it sounds like. It's a portable party, which means that the hostess doesn't necessarily have to have a home party or a online party to get orders in and to get the hostess rewards. This is a really great thing to kind of focus on, especially with anybody that's too busy to host a party. If they're not if their calendar is so busy that they're not ready to commit to a party date, then this is something that you want to kind of bring up afterward is a portable party. Keep that in mind though, that this portable parties also are something that I send out for online parties, like a smaller version. Well, it depends on the hostess, but this is something I send out for hostesses regardless. So they don't, I guess hostesses aren't necessarily aware, but they're basically getting the whole hostess treatment. And it's a lot, but it's less stress for them. It's less, it's less for them to worry about because they don't have to worry about getting their house ready or having a scheduled, getting invitations out, that kind of thing. So to kind of get going on that, there are different ways that you can kind of set up a portable party. You can send a hostess off with order forms, and she can collect all of the orders, all of the payment, and then bring them back to you. Or you can have the hostess direct her guests to your website to order in her event. So she'll have an event set up so that guests can go, and she's directing people to order. Both works. You can do it both ways. You can give the hostess order forms and have an online party, and she can give the people what they want, or offer people what is the most convenient for them. So my kind of things on it, there are pros and cons for both either option. If the hostess is the one taking the orders, that's a pro because the hostess essentially is the mini consultant. She's your temporary team member who is going out and collecting orders for you. So she's the one that's going to kind of do one-on-ones with everybody and be like, this is my favorite hand cream because of this, and kind of help people. Oh, you have issues with dry skin. I know exactly what can help you with that. So she's kind of your temporary team member, which is a really great way to kind of show her how easy it is to run your own Posh business. So that is a pro of having her take the orders. A con of that is that she might not be totally like, you kind of have to you might have to train her, I guess, train for lack of a better word, because she needs to calculate tax, and she needs to calculate shipping. So depending on whether or not you guys are charging shipping, if it's just local orders, then I think for me as a consultant, I just cover the shipping and have all the things shipped to me, and then I package them up, I give them to the hostess, and she hands them out to her guest. So that's something that I decide to do. If you don't want to do that, you can charge $1 per shipping, or you can charge everybody shipping, whatever you want to do. But so your hostess needs to be aware of what the tax rate is, how to calculate tax, the buy 5, get the 6 free. So, and she has to know how to do that. So that's, I guess, a kind of a con. But okay, so if you're doing an online party order, the pros of that is that you're getting people to your website, which is perfect because you want people to click your link. You want people to get linked to your website so that if they ever come back to look at Perfectly Posh again, they will be guided to your website. The con of that is the fact that it's kind of out of your control. It's out of the hostess's control. She could hand out samples to everybody and be like, oh, well, I'm glad you love it. Go here to order. And then someone might forget. So then it's up to the hostess to kind of like keep in touch and, follow up and remember, hey, what did you think? Oh, my party closes this day. Like, can I, did you have any questions, etc. Right? So then that's kind of the con there is that you don't really have any way, like the hostess doesn't have any way to kind of like help the guest along unless she's very active as a hostess to kind of do that. So those are kind of pros and cons of how you can do it. So I honestly I think it really depends on the hostess, how she wants to do it. And I love offering the both options. And that is just me, okay? Okay, so moving on. So the things that you're going to include in your portable parties. So if you're going to do order forms, do order forms. You're going to include a bunch of business cards, a catalog. You don't necessarily have to have catalogs for every single person that's getting samples. You could just have a catalog for the hostess. It's kind of like the traveling catalog, so she can show it to her guests as she's giving out samples and stuff, but it's not necessarily something that every guest is going to get. So you could do that, or you can, put in a handful or something like that, and the hostess can decide whoever is the most interested can have the catalog, right? Or if you guys don't do catalogs, there is the pricing at a glance. And I honestly think that including at least one in your portable party is going to be super helpful for anybody that is looking to order, especially the hostess, especially if the hostess is talking about product, because she's not going to be as familiar with the catalog as we are. And so it's more helpful if she can just point to the things that she likes. She can pull out the pricing in a glance paper and just be like, that's something that you want, that's something you want, this is what the pricing is. And if she's helping people fill out the order forms, or if the guest is filling out the order forms, it's such a nice reference tool, guys. Like the pricing at a glance sheet is like one of the best marketing tools that we have. And I've had tons of people compliment on how they're like, I just love that you guys have this. And I was like, yeah, isn't it amazing? If you guys can't get it from the portal, then just print it off online. You can laminate it with some self-laminating sheets. And that's what I did for a recent party, and it works perfectly. It just does every single thing you need it to do. Some other things that I would definitely include is if you're not including catalogs with every sample pack, which like I said, I don't think it's necessary to include with every sample pack. Include some sort of pamphlet for sure. This is the What is Perfectly Posh pamphlet. So this one gives you a good overview of what Posh is, some of our, what our ingredients are, some of our kind of touches base on every single thing that someone might have questions on. And so this is something that I think including some sort of pamphlet that explains what Posh is going to be really good to include in your portable party. Especially so for the hostess to kind of figure out who wants what and that kind of thing. Now, when it comes to samples, because obviously that's what the portable party is for, is to get Posh on people, right? Your samples, now, I don't want you to feel as though you need to include a billion samples with your portable party, okay? So some things that you can do is you can do the pre-made, the portable samples, and include a bunch of each one. And I honestly think that if you just have a good variety of products, you don't necessarily need, so you don't necessarily need to have like one of everything, but if you have like one hand cream, one lotion, one scrub, that kind of thing, I think that gives people an idea of what it is. And then if you're able to sit down with the hostess beforehand when you're giving her the portable party, definitely talk to her about the different ingredients so that different scents, so she's aware of it. So you're kind of giving her an overview of the different products, because again, you're training her to be kind of like your mini a temporary team member, right? So Charlotte's asking, so something that you can include in the in portable parties are pamphlets from the last catalog, like the Pampering Pursuit, like this one, Join the Pampering Pursuit. I definitely think yes. If you guys don't get rid of any of your old marketing tools, because a lot of these are still really great, still pretty, still relatively current, and give people a good idea of what Posh is. So I actually love these, this is from the last catalog, the Pampering Pursuit ones, and there's really nothing it might have some products that are out of date, but for the most part, it still gives you a good idea of what is in the starter kit. And something, like if you can include stuff that talks about the joining and stuff that includes what Posh is, then that's great. And stuff from the old catalog is great. So and you can get bigger stickers, the address labels here, and you can actually say check out the current catalog, and you can actually write more than just this small address label. Sarah Lucas She's one of the amazing Posh people. She actually uses a giant label here, and she just writes like everything that you need to write, which I think is absolutely amazing and something that I like had never realized. So that take advantage of the little spots where you can put labels and you can add your own personal touch, like a mini Y or that kind of thing. So it's not like it's not more papers, it's just more information on one paper, right? Is it okay to use samples that are retired? Honestly, Laura, I think that is up to you. That is something that I kind of go back and forth on. I think it kind of depends on who it is. If they're not familiar with Posh and they're wanting a ton of different samples because for example, they're going to leave it in their break room for people to go in and out and grab stuff, then maybe. But if it's going to be some people that are very potential Posh lovers, like this hostess is absolutely obsessed with Posh, and she just knows you've been trying to get her to join because she knows everything, like she knows the whole catalog already, then I don't know if I would recommend doing old samples. If you do have old samples that are retired, I actually think that putting those in like office goodie bundles, for offices and for businesses in your area, I think that's a great way of doing that because it advertises very well. It gives people the idea of what Posh is. So if you have old samples, that's what I would recommend doing with it. Okay, let's see. Did you guys have more questions on that? Because you guys are always welcome to ask questions. Okay, so I'm just going to continue for a minute. But yeah, so I recommend I like putting in about 6 different types of things just because of the buy 5, get the 6th free. So I like to put face wash for sure. So the BFF usually, almost always. Well, yeah, definitely BFF now. I used to sometimes interchange it with Complexion Perfection, but because BFF is pretty much the go-to face wash now and is the one that people try it and they instantly are like, this is Posh, right? So BFF for sure. I think having a face mask in there is really good. A moisturizer, a hand cream, definitely, because our hand creams are very unique. They're very affordable, very good for people who've never tried Posh and are looking to purchase. Hand cream, a body scrub, and if you can, I think a soap is a good try. I've had a lot of people who've been converted to our chunk bars just by trying, for example, like the Gender Bender. Not just me, like I'm not, like obviously I was converted with a Gender Bender, but like I've had people say that they want a Gender Bender somewhere and like they got obsessed with it because of their sample. So those are kind of like my kind of go-tos. If you guys do not have the opportunity, or just don't have the means to offer that many samples, because like in my mind, if they are giving out portable parties to like 10 people and that's like 60 samples, and that's a lot of samples, right? So kind of pick and choose, guys. Like you don't necessarily have to do all that. You could just do a soap, a hand cream, and a scrub or a face mask. You know what I mean? If you can, I think the BFF is totally, it sells itself once people try it. But it really is up to you how you guys want to do it. So if you're doing the pre-made samples, obviously these ones are pretty hefty size samples. So I don't think that you need to include as many samples. I think if you do 3 of the portal samples, I think that's pretty nice. But that's just me. If you guys are doing the Laycon samples, so these Laycons, these ones are, you can put less in each of these than what would come in the portal samples. That doesn't necessarily mean that they don't get a good try of what these products are and what they do for people. So I think it gives a good tester because it is a sample. It's not a full-size product. It's not, it's something that they're going to be able to get 1 to 2 uses out of. So if you're doing the Laycons, you could very easily get a Ziploc bag. And this is how I do my Laycons. I get this Ziploc bag that fits a business card. Yeah, so then I put like my business card in it, and then I throw in a bunch of Laycons. And they lay pretty flat, so that's nice. And my business cards, hold on. So like that. And then I do like 6 samples, or I do a soap and then 5 samples, or you don't have to do that many, you can just do a few. But this is a very easy way to get to have this for your hostess to give out to people. And this is what I like doing it, just because I feel like it's super easy. However, I think that, okay, so if you guys, but there are so many different ways of doing it. This is another really great option as well. So if you guys have seen this card before this, we do have this in our team files. And you can edit these sections here. But this, I totally edited this like completely wrong because I was in a bind. But if you guys are editing it and including the type of sample it is, don't stick it in the circle where you're putting the sample. That was me not being smart. Stick it at the top right over here, and then people know exactly what it is. They'll know that's a face wash, that's a face mask, moisturizer, hand cream, and body scrub, and this fits. Oops. And then just get like the glue dots from, like, you know, the scrapbook section, the glue dots, and then you can basically lay them all out. So that gives you, so you got to do 6, or you can just fill like the middle 3 or something, you know what I mean? So you don't necessarily have to fill up the 6. But this is another great way for a hostess to easily kind of pass out the products. You can write whatever you want here, so you can easily customize it to fit the hostess, or you can talk about the different products. This is kind of one of those things where there's a lot of information in one thing, so you're not giving people like 10 pages of papers, right? So you could easily put every single thing that you need, or at least, you know, paraphrase what the different products do, why you like it, and have that right here. So that's kind of a fun option as well. And you can print it, you know, go to Vistaprint, print it in bulk, and get those done. Obviously that's just a very easy way for people to kind of try out the different products and kind of see it. I mean, if you're doing it this way, you don't necessarily have to include a lot of other things. So it really just depends on what you guys want to do. But yeah, so always include a catalog, a bunch of business cards, because if, you know, she runs out of samples, you want to make sure that she can just, you know, she could share the products she already has. Like if she already has a hand cream, she could show her guest what that hand cream is and explain about her other favorite products, and kind of, you know, direct them to the, you know, to the website, and to contact you if they have questions, because that's one of the things too that I think that is important, that even though it's a portable party, it doesn't mean that the consultant, you are out of the picture. You are still there if they have any questions. Make sure you're labeling every single thing that you are putting in that portable party, like every single thing. The pricing at a glance guide, make sure your website's on that too. You're going to label the crap out of everything. And I love the Rotec labels, rotec.com. So I love using these. I use these on the back of my samples. I use them on labeling small products, and then I use the address or small papers, and then I use the address labels for labeling larger papers. So yeah, so there you go. So that's kind of the thing. Another one, okay, so something that I do want to point out is that even though if you are deciding to do the sample packs, the hostess doesn't necessarily have to give them out like that. She can break them up. Like, for example, if you're giving out, let's say you're doing, let's say you're doing 7, oh, let's make math easier, 5 packs of 6. So that's 30 total samples, okay? And maybe she has more than 5 people interested. In that case, like maybe she gets it and she gives them, you know, she gives the sample, like maybe she said she only wanted 5 packs, and then she gets it and she sees that the more people are interested and people are asking questions, and they're like, oh, I saw that, you know, what is this and what is this? She can break them up. So I think that's important too, is that she can take out the different things and kind of break them up and and spread them out with whoever who wants them. Also to include, don't forget your handwritten note as a thank you to the hostess for hosting. That's one of the things that's going to add that personal touch. You're including your why as well. Don't forget that. And don't forget to offer the opportunity. If the hostess decides that, I always do this, and again, this is just depending on whether or not you guys are able to do this, but I offer the hostess the opportunity to join. And to put the orders under her. So if she comes back with a bunch of order forms, and the order form, like she ended up doing really, really well, I offer it to her. I'm like, hey, so if you want, this could be your launch party, and you can join, and you can get all of these orders under you, and get the commission, and you can join my team, etc. Right? And you can offer that to her. Again, totally up to you whether or not you guys are able to do this, because this is money out of your pocket that you spent putting this kit together, putting your time out of your schedule to help the hostess and train her and stuff. So that's kind of something up to you, but I always include my why with a thank you letter and some information on joining. So even if it's like the start your these little packs here, the Start a Pampering Business with Perfectly Posh. I kind of like I like this because it does help. It's informational about the products and the ingredients in the company, but it does tell you more about the business side. So it kind of is like really informative, but also kind of plants that seed of starting your own business. So I do offer that up to my hostesses, and that is something that I just think that, if you're talking to your hostesses and you're keeping in contact with them, having that thank you and giving them opportunity is really great, because then you're making them feel special, that they are chosen by you as well. Like, you're honored that they want to help you, and that they want to help support your business. And so, like they chose you as a consultant. So you want to repay them by doing that. And if you guys offer a hostess gift, I always think that's super nice to throw in there as well. Like, hey, thank you so much. And it could be something as little as a lip balm. It could be a dollar store item. It doesn't have to be anything major. Just like I said, a personal note and a little gift of your token of appreciation goes far. Okay, so that's super fun. If you guys decide you want to reward your hostess for hitting a certain goal, or if that was the stipulation, was that they host, and they get a prize, but they only get it after they host, after like the date actually comes up, then I would definitely, maybe, watch what the sales are and then send out a thank you, or, send it out, if that makes sense. Like, make sure that they hit their 200 or whatever, and then send out a hand cream. You don't want to just give out the hand cream with a bunch of samples and then expect them to actually they might get busy, and they might forget that they have a portable party going on, right? So yeah, hostess incentives are always really great. Make sure that you're talking to your hostess. Okay, and then last but not least, once you already have your portable parties out, and you've had your hostess, take all the orders or whatever, and you have the orders coming in, really important is, if your hostess was taking the order forms, make sure that you're getting the people's contact information. Make sure you're getting an email or a phone number, something, so that you can also follow up with these guests and thank them individually for ordering through hostess's party, because follow-up is so important, and it's definitely going to be worth it to follow up with these people, but you need to make sure that you're getting their contact information. And if the hostess is wondering why, or if the guest is wondering why, then you can say, like, hey, I send out thank yous, so I would really like, or if there's a problem with the order, I want to be able to contact them directly, so that, you can keep in touch with them. So make sure that you guys are getting their contact information as well. Have the hostess either collect it with the order forms. You can send out the drawing slips with it, or just like some sheet that you can get people's information, because even if they didn't purchase but they tried the samples, they are potential customers for you. So they're the type of people that you do want to also include in your VIP group, and to also stay in contact with. But yeah, so I think that's kind of all I had going on for you guys in terms of portable parties. If you guys have specific questions, you guys are totally welcome to unmute yourselves, or you're welcome to write in the chat box. But yeah. Questions at all? All right. Well, portable parties, like I said, if they are too busy to host something, this is a really great way of doing it. I also think that it's kind of fun to put together some kind of it's essentially a portable party. Maybe you won't put as much information, many samples in there, but if you have them ready to go and you're like, hey guys, I have a bunch of these samples just for you to share with your friends, who wants one? And you post it on your personal page or you post it in your VIP group and see what happens, then that's a really great way of going about it as well, because, you know, people like free things, guys. And it's just super nice because they're, you know, you're going to help, you're getting into the cold market by getting, you know, having them help you. Do you use poly or bubble mailers to mail out your stuff, is what the question is. It depends on how much I'm sending out. And it also just depends on, because what I have on hand. So these are my poly mailer, or yeah, my poly mailers. Okay, so they don't actually fit a catalog flat. I actually have to fold the catalog. And then these are my bubble mailers. So they're smaller. Okay, so those are the two options that I have. And it really just depends on what I'm sending out. Usually I'm sending out enough that it doesn't fit into my bubble mailer. Or guys, if you're sending more than a pound worth of stuff, and you're sending, right, you're physically mailing this to your hostess, then look at flat rate envelopes. Flat rate envelopes will be, if you guys are ever mailing anything and it's over a pound, flat rate envelopes are the way you want to mail it. And then if you use PayPal to ship it out, you're going to save even more. So that's kind of what I do. You can always put a bubble mailer. You can always put your samples in a bubble mailer, throw it in the flat rate envelope, or even in your poly mailer if you want to protect them more, and then send it out that way. But yeah, so it just really depends on what I'm sending out. If I'm usually sending out more than one catalog, it's usually more than a pound. So then I will do it flat rate. And I don't have a flat rate envelope around here to show you guys. Oh wait, no, that's not it. That's another one. Yeah, but for the most part, I think that our samples are pretty sturdy. The only ones that I would worry about are like the soaps. The soaps are some that might crumble in the mail, but for the most part, I don't really have any. I haven't had a lot of issues mailing out samples with in regular poly mailers. Any other questions? Cool. Yeah. Portable parties are going to be great for anyone that's out of town, like especially. And what's awesome too is as we are getting into the holiday season, people are going to be hanging out with their families more. Right. The holiday, you know, you're going to have the Thanksgiving, you're going to have, you know, meal prep for Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff. And so this is a really great way to send out some like happy mail to people and be like, hey, you know, this is just like a spa in a bag or party in a bag. Facial in a bag is a really great thing to do too. So that is something that I did not mention, but you can send out this stuff. So let me first say that you can send out these portable parties for specific things like that, because, you know, after they've made the turkey or whatever, maybe they want to like have a bit of pampering time, then that's a really great way to kind of send it out there. And not necessarily because you're expecting sales, but because you're getting, you know, you want them to try product. And then, yeah, so also I was going to say that you can send out, and instead of sending out 6 and a variety, you can always just send out a certain theme. So you can send out facial in a bag. If you guys haven't seen facial in a bag, that is one of the things that is going to help really with your business, especially because it helps people understand what the samples are. And a facial in a bag basically is a face wash, a mask, and a moisturizer, and it's instructions on how to use them. So it's facial in a bag. And there are instructions on the graphics pages. I might have one in the team page, I don't remember. You can write your own up with your own like wording, like this one comes specifically with calling all fairies because it's your favorite because of, you know, this and this and this, right? So you can do something like that. Facial in a bag, you can always do pedicure kit, hand kit, anyway, like exfoliating kit, lavender kit, like you can make themed bags, which is super awesome because it gives like some, you know, if somebody already hosted a party, this is going to be another way to like, hey, you did a facial in a bag party, how about we do a pedicure party this time around? So that is kind of the pro of doing it like that and themed that way. Okay, so we have few minutes left. Does anyone have any questions specifically on this? If not, I can end the recording and we can go off topic. But if you guys have more questions on portable parties, just feel free to chime in or write in the chat box. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining. I'm just gonna end the recording in just a second, but for anybody that's watching this recording later, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys, it's super important to take a minute and gain some knowledge. Check out the different trainings in the Posh Box for portable party ideas and what other people have done. There are a lot of resources out there. If you guys have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to your sponsor, feel free to reach out to your team pages, me, etc. We're always here to help. So if you guys have ideas to kind of throw around, post in the team page. It's always fun to kind of bounce ideas off of each other. Okay, so yeah, thanks guys for watching the recording and joining us.